What's up, Pirates? Wraith and Jim here with Awaken TCG, and today we have OP07. All the cards finally released on the global One Piece website, the official One Piece website. And so we're going to go over every single color, every single card, and see what's good and see what's not.
Yep, OP07 looking like a very hype set before OP08. But let's go over our first leader. By the way, if you guys didn't know, every single leader this set is going to be a monocolor leader. So out of our 6 leaders, we have 1 for each color. And our red leader is going to be a Monkey D. Dragon, finally getting a leader card, and he's going to read Activate main once per turn. You can add 2 attached Dawn from one of your characters or leaders onto one of your characters. So basically, you can convert 2 Dawn that are attached to anything into another 2 Dawn attached to another character, which is going to synergize with any Dawn X2 effects, even Dawn X1 effects, and any cards like the Revolutionaries that need to get to 7k power. Going to work great with those. Just a very genuine, like, really simple, good red leader.
Yeah, no, I'm liking it. It's very aggressive. It's gonna work well with rush units as well. Yeah, no, I like it. It's definitely gonna have a place in the meta. We're gonna have to wait and see how good he actually is.
Yeah, red's been lackluster, but hopefully this guy can make them a little better. Next up here, we've got Ein. Ein is a 7 cost, 6,000 power with the Film and Neo Navy type. And she's going to read, on play, you can put one of your opponent's power down to 0 for the turn. So putting any character straight to 0 power, obviously, is an insanely strong effect. However, is it worth it for 7 Dawn on a 6k body with no counter? I really don't think so.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say. Right now, a lot of people run big bodies, and so if the meta continues to be tall, this is a free KO on something, right? Like
Yeah,
you
I
just
mean, you
play
do have to
this.
swing into it.
Yeah, essentially, right? You still have to get that swing in, but it's like, okay, you play this. Your opponent's 10 mom is now at 0. You just swing 5 with your leader, or if you're red and you have some searchers already on board, you just swing 2k at it. And it's like they have to let it go,
Yeah.
for free.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to depend on what the meta looks like in OP07. If it's more lower to the ground, it probably won't be worth running, but it definitely could be good for sure.
Yeah, definitely a meta call. We'll have to see on this one. Next up here, we've got Outlook the Third. This is going to be Sabo's father. A very interesting card to add to the game, but it's going to be a 2 cost, 0 power, and 1,000 counter with the Goa Kingdom type. It's going to read Activate Main. You can put this character into the trash, and then 2 of your opponent's characters are going to get minus 2k power for the turn. So for 2, we are giving 2 of our opponent characters minus 2k power. So kind of like a mini ace effect without a body for 2. You would get the same effect if you played out 2 Otamas for the same price, but obviously this is on 1 card. I'm really not sure. Like, you could play this card and clear a board pretty easily. Seems interesting. I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, no, it would feel good on decks that run Black Rebecca, where they're always summoning something already rested, and then usually, if you have a lot of swings, you can minus 2,000 on, the Hina they just played, and maybe their Borsellino standing blocker they have, and then you can just swing at it for free, and they're just gonna have to let that stuff go.
For sure. Yeah, definitely not a terrible card, I don't think. Next up here, we've got Curly Dadon, going to get another Curly Dadon card with the same exact stat line. Going to be a 2 cost, 3,000 power with a 1,000 counter with the Bandit type. This one's going to read, on play, you can trash 1 card from your hand, and then look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can reveal any character card with 2,000 power or less and add it to your hand, then put the rest at the bottom of the deck. So I'm not glad this is just worse standard 1 cost searcher to Dawn. I get like you can search like maybe a 2 cost that's like 2,000 power, but that's pretty rare, and I can't really think of any good 2 cost 2Ks off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Also,
the only one I'm actually like thinking of is because it is 2,000 or less. It's like you can search if you run this in law, you can search Bonnie Searcher.
that is true. You do have to trash a card. That is the main thing, is why I don't love this card.
Yeah. I mean, just having to discard one, but if you're searching and you need that 5-drop law, I mean, you'll find it.
Right, yeah. This is the only card that can search Bonnie other than herself, I think.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, having to trash one feels kind of bad. But
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, who
yeah,
knows?
yeah,
Next up here, we've got Karina from the Film Gold movie, going to be a 3 cost, 0 power with a 1000 counter. Going to be a blocker, so that's good. 0 stat line doesn't really matter on that. And then next up, we'll have on play, you can give 2000 power to one of your opponent's characters for this turn. So, 3 cost blocker that gives minus 2k power. The only deck I really see this being pretty strong in is Red Purple Law, if I'm being honest.
yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Um, Probably the only one. Other than that, I mean, it's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean maybe Red Purple Uta, but obviously that deck's not great.
Yeah, that deck's not gonna
Yeah,
be too good, unfortunately. But yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
nothing amazing there. Next up here we've got Stelly. Stelly is a 1 cost, 1000 power with a 1k counter. And the Goa Kingdom type. This one going to be on play. You have to give one of your active leaders minus 5000 power for the turn. And then draw one card and discard one card from your hand. This card is absolutely abysmal. It only really works in Vivi, since that's the only leader that you're really not attacking with that's in red. And then, even then, 1 cost for a cycle is not good. Sakazuki can do that for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it's not much to say.
yeah, pretty terrible common that's probably never going to see play. Not much to say about this card either. Just going to be a 4/6 vanilla with the film and Grant Throw type. So another film 4/6 for red. Don't really think we were running that unless we had like a card that summoned a 4-drop film that I don't think we have yet.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san is a 3 cost, 3000 power with blocker and then trigger that plays the card. Gonna be honest, I think the 3 cost 1k blockers that have 1000 counter and have the trigger to play the card are better than this. I think this is just a worse version. I don't really think you care about 2k power. I would not trade that for no counter. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, unless the meta is Zoro running a bunch of Robins.
Right.
I definitely see the other card being just more useful. Having that 1k in hand is just too much to give up, honestly.
For sure. Next up here, we've got Dogura and Magura are going to be 2 cost, 3000 power, 1000 counter with the Bandit type. And they're going to read on play. You can give one of your 1 cost red characters a double attack for the turn. So, honestly, an interesting card. Obviously, in our weenie decks like Zoro, we're not really swinging tall with these 1-drops. We're just swinging wide. So, giving the one of them double attack is a little strange because you're going to have to go tall if you want it to hit, which means you can't really be swinging with your other chump guys. So I think it kind of goes against what the deck wants to do. But I mean, maybe this could be played like if you know they don't have counter in that situation. I really don't. I'm not sure.
I mean, this could be pretty good in law. Isn't the I remember there being a Whitebeard law package being ran where they were running, what was that 1-drop 2k that at the end of your turn bottom deck it the game
Thatch.
2000?
Yeah, Thatch.
Yeah, Thatch. I mean, I feel like this could be pretty okay
Yeah.
on that Thatch card because it's a, you attach one Dawn and it's a 5k.
I mean, maybe
But
there's a deck out there.
yeah, but it's
Not
very
saying there
niche.
isn't.
Very niche.
Yeah. Next up here, we've got Bakara. Is a 3 cost, 4000 power with 1000 counter. She's going to be a blocker. And she'll read, when your opponent attacks once per turn, you can discard 1 card from your hand, and then your leader's going to get 2000 power for this battle. So that's honestly a fantastic blocker. Just a 3/4 blocker that gives you free 2Ks with bricks in hand. Obviously pretty removable, but I mean, pretty decent card.
Yeah, 100%. I like it. I feel like that being so defensive is very good. It's forcing your opponent to get rid of it before they even start swinging, or you get a free block with a brick.
Just generically strong card for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next up here, we've got Blue Jam. Blue Jam is a 4 cost, 5000 power with a 1000 counter red character with the Goa Kingdom and Blue Jam Pirates type. Going to read Dawn X1. When attacking, you can KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2000 or less. This card is terrible. I would rather be running the 3 cost Robin if I want to do something like this. She actually KOs a 3K, and you have to spend 1 less Dawn on her. So I don't see this being ran.
Yeah, I mean it's just a bigger body. Not really searchable by anything. Feels kind of bad.
Yeah, honestly do not like this card. Next up here, we've got Poor Shemi is a 2 cost, 3,000 power with a 1,000 counter. Going to have the Goa Kingdom and Blue Gem Pirates type. Going to read on play. You can give minus 1,000 power to one of your opponent's characters during this turn. So 2/3 that minuses 1,000 power. The only deck I can really ever see this being played in is like Zoro. You got the 3K body and then minus a 1K on play isn't terrible. But truly, also just not that good.
Pretty trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got Masked Deuce. Is a 1 cost 2K with a 1,000 counter. And going to read on play, if your leader is Portgasti Ace, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal 1 Portgasti Ace or a red event card and add it to hand. And then put the rest at the bottom of your deck. Just a fantastic searcher for Ace. You can search Rush Ace with this guy, and you can search any event from Fire Fist to Flame Emperor, whatever. This guy is like an Ace staple. He's like better Buggy, right? With counter.
Yeah. No. Very very good searcher card. Applying that pressure on board as well, getting a body. It's always nice to have small bodies. There's situations where your opponents can play man sherries or swing with something small, and just having another extra searcher body just to swing with is so nice. These are the type of searchers I like. 1K counter, 1/2 or 1/3 with just a very good search effect. I feel like red to get best searchers.
Yeah. And next up here we've got Moda. Moda is a 1 cost 0 power with 2,000 counter. Going to read on your turn and on play. Up to one of your Portgasti Ace is going to get 2,000 power for this turn. So a 1 cost that is converting this one use of 1 Dawn to 2K power. Probably going to be used this for Ace Leader and then maybe followed up with a Flame Emperor. Also a 2K in hand. I could definitely see Ace running this card.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It feels really good. I mean, it's a great 2K, and then just even if you're trying to go for game, being able to attach 6 Dawn or attach 7, 8 Dawn and then play 1, 2, or 3 of these, it's just like it'd be so nice.
I think we need a restand on Ace.
Yeah,
that would be nutty. Next up here, we've got Monkey D Dragon Super Rare. So the super rare that's going to go with the leader, because honestly, I don't think there's been a red card up till now that has actually been made for Dragon, which is interesting. So kind of printing a leader that's just generically good for red and not giving it support is an interesting choice. But let's go ahead and see what this card does. It's going to be an 8 cost 9,000 power with Rush. And then on play, you can rest one of your... you can give one of your leader characters 2 of your rested Dawn cards. So pretty much you place on 8. Put 2 Dawn onto your leader. You can swing 7 with leader, and then obviously your Dragon Leader effect is going to convert those 2 attached Dawn back onto this guy, and then you can go 11. So on 8, you can swing 7, 11, and get a 9K on board. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, definitely is a lot of pressure, especially if you've already, built up a lead or have your opponent in murky waters. Swinging 7, 11 on 8 Dawn, it just feels nice.
And next up here, we've got Galaxy Wink. Going to be a Revolutionary Army 1-cost event with the effect during main. Up to one of your characters with the Revolutionary Army type is going to get 2,000 power for the turn. And then after that, up to one of your opponent's characters is going to get minus 1,000 power for the turn. So pretty much converting 1 Dawn into 3K worth of power. Also is going to work on the main. I think this is interesting. It doesn't work on your leader, which kind of sucks. You cannot buff your leader with this card. So you do have to have cards on board. But I mean, 1 for 3 is good, right? I don't know if we've actually gotten a card that gives you that much power for 1 yet.
Yeah, and I think this in Bello Betty actually feels really strong. Um, like that deck already puts you in positions where you have to give up a lot of counter, or you just have to give up life because they're swinging 4 or 5,000 power difference, and
Hmm.
this just works for you.
Yeah. Would love to see Betty show up in OP07, but honestly, I think the deck is a bit too linear.
Hmm.
Next up here, we've got Dragon's Breath is going to be another Revolutionary Army event. With the effect during main, you can KO one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less, and also up to one stage with a cost of one or less. This is kind of a random effect. It is definitely thematic because this is when Sabo destroyed the stage during the fight at the Coliseum. But definitely a random effect to KO a 3k for 2 and then just randomly tack on KOing a 1 cost stage, which really, there aren't that many good ones. I think the best stages are usually 3 cost. Only good one I could think of off the top of my head is Marineford. But yeah,
And
don't love this card.
and Reiju,
Oh, true. Yeah,
like the searcher ones,
yep.
Reiju.
This would be a great tech card into Reiju, but obviously not a meta definer, so I don't know if you're running this.
100%.
Yeah. Next up here, we've got Keep Out is a 1 cost Impel Down and a Revolutionary Army counter card. This one going to read on counter up to one of your characters with the Revolutionary Army type is going to get 2,000 power until the end of your next turn. So pretty interesting. A counter card that converts power on your opponent's turn into power on your turn for 1. Huh.
Hmm.
Pretty cool card, not gonna lie. I don't know if Betty runs this. I mean, maybe even Dragon runs this. But I mean, if you think about it, this is one cost for 4,000 power, which obviously Rad Beam already does. But none of these counter events, I don't think, have ever actually given you buffs on your turn. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice defensive card that gives you an offensive boost on your next turn, which if we're thinking about the deck that Dragon is going to be, like the archetype and the way the deck is going to be played is going to be an aggro deck. So, I mean, I like this card. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty cool.
All right, Pirates, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all of the red overview. We're going to go through every single other one of these colors in the following days this week. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. But that is going to be it for this one. If you're not already subbed, subscribe to our channel. At 5,000 subs, we're giving away 5 OP06 boxes. So stay tuned for that. More information will be out very soon for that. Like this video. Comment down below what leader you're looking forward to in OP07. Because we're going over OP07. And you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.